Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mindful Living Inspiration Cards by Katie Rose, published by Rockpool Publishing. So we're going to take a look at the beautiful cards in this deck and then take a look at this matching journal. The Mindful Living Inspiration cards, here on the front it says, deepen your relationship with yourself. I love that idea for a oracle deck. We have a beautiful box with this copper gilding on the front, beautiful touches along the sides as well. And of course we have the lovely information on the back. Gorgeous two-piece box. I think Rockpool has been doing an amazing job with their boxes. This one is actually textured. I don't know if you can see it, but it has little dimples all in it, and it's just such a beautiful production. We actually have a little stand, which I think is really clever, so that you can actually put your cards up. So inside we have the little guidebook, and then of course we have the cards themselves. And it does have this little tray on the inside. My guess is because the box is deeper than how many cards there are, and you can see that it's just a little cardboard tray in here. It lifts out really easily, and in the bottom we have that beautiful little design. So you can put that in there, and then the cards sit right there on the top. Or you could probably take it out and pop them in there, and then you just have a little bit of extra room in the box. So gorgeous design on their boxes. The amount of detail that Rockpool has been putting into their packaging has been really wonderful. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I know normally I like to jump right into the cards, but I think that for this particular deck, having a little bit of a knowledge about what the deck entails before jumping into the cards will probably be helpful when taking a look at them. So let's just take a quick peek into the guidebook. So it talks about how to use the cards. Welcome to Mindful Living, an invitation to live your everyday in conscious spiritual practice, devotion, and compassion. There are so many ways you can apply mindful living to your daily experience, and these inspiration cards were written to support you on your journey. So then it talks about some of the different ways that you can read it, a meditation, group circle, during moments of stress, morning sadhana, mundane moments, for the moon phases and the seasons. I love that. That's such a fantastic idea to pull one of these to have a message during those times. That's fantastic. So then we have 4 different types of cards in this deck, and what's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of just take a quick peek in the little guidebook first. So we have the physical body cards, which are aspects of ourselves that we often identify the most closely. The physical body cards will get you started on the path to having a healthy body and a healthy mind. So then we have these subtle body cards. Your subtle body is the energy within and around you that cannot be seen in the same way you see your skin and bones and hair, but nonetheless can be seen with the senses that perceive vibration and feeling through intuition. So then we have the chakras with their elements and their associations, which is lovely. So we have mind and emotion cards. It says the mind and emotion cards will facilitate deeper reflection into how to shift old patterns and initiate transformation. Love that. Then we have the spirit soul cards. So the Spirit Soul cards aim to connect us to our highest potential. Here we have a little bit about the author, Katie Rose. I really love the structure that they have set up for this deck, and I think that's actually going to work really well with my own personal practice, because those are the elements that I actually try to focus on in my own personal path. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards now. We do have the same suits or categories kind of noted on the fronts of the cards as well. So we have the physical body here, and we'll take a look at the physical body cards. So our first one here is Bright Body Affirmation. My body is bright, beautiful, and full of light. We have Energy Affirmation. I am full of robust energy, and I can step up to whatever challenges lie ahead by calling on this energy reserve. My energy is steady and sustained. Giving thanks for my hands affirmation. Giving thanks for my feet. Giving thanks for my strength. Gratitude for my body affirmation. That's always a good one. Giving thanks for my health. Sexuality affirmation. Birth and death affirmation. And then we move into our subtle body cards. So here we have our first chakra energy center affirmation. I find healing in a gracious redistribution of the feminine and masculine energies within me. So here we have our second chakra. I walk in beauty and divinity at all times, even in difficult and dark situations, light is within me. So we have for our third chakra, I do like that it has the symbols there as well. Our fourth chakra. Our fifth chakra, I am able to speak and hear the truth. Simple and powerful. I love it. The sixth chakra, my intuition is awakened and I trust in it. And our seventh chakra. Then we have an energy protection affirmation. A heart and mind affirmation. Again, really simple but powerful message. My heart is open and my mind is clear. Beautiful. And now we move into our mind and emotion cards. So here we have asking for help affirmation. I am able to ask for help when needed, and I can make good choices about who I ask and how I ask them. This also means I can offer help in return according to my capacity. I love that note at the end because a lot of times we give even when we don't have anything to give. So I think that is important to remember. So here we have staying in center affirmation. I take 3 long, slow breaths. I am centered. Beautiful. Our inspiration affirmation. A magic affirmation. I allow for a shift in perception. I am able to reframe and see challenges through a different lens. That's beautiful. Letting go affirmation. Nervous system affirmation. Nature's gift affirmation. I love the leaf pattern behind that. Managing frustration affirmation. That's a good one. Tending to the tasks of daily life affirmation. I am patiently loving in my home and create a sanctuary for myself and those who share my space. That I think is a really good and powerful one, particularly in our current world situation. That I think is one that we could all tap into on a daily basis. So now we move into our spirit and soul cards. So we have shadow of the victim affirmation. I do not get caught in the shadow of the victim. I am connected to the magnificence of my radiant spirit soul and remained aligned with my highest power even in the face of adversity. Beautiful. Protection and stability. My energy is steady and stable. This allows me to make good decisions that come from a place of protection and clarity. Who am I really affirmation? I love this. Just has some really powerful I am statements. You could probably replace those with whatever I am statements that you are currently working with. And this card could be a wonderful reminder for that as well. The shining affirmation. I see others shining in their strengths. I do not dwell on their weaknesses. That's beautiful. Warrior goddess archetype affirmation. I am able to hold strong to my own intuition in the face of many confusing and varied voices around me. I know who I am, what I believe in, and stand for. Beautiful. Shava Shakti archetype. Spirit soul affirmation. Beyond name and beyond form. Beyond night and beyond day. Beyond the mask of personality, I am a spirit soul. Beautiful. Effort affirmation. and the Great Love Affirmation. So now that we've had a chance to look at each of the cards, I thought maybe we'd just take a quick flip to see all of the cards kind of in their suits. So we have this nude color here in the physical body cards, and each of them have a little design on them. I think they're done really beautifully. I think they are subtle, they are soft, and very inviting. So you can see that color palette runs through each of these cards. And I thought we'd just count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. In the subtle body, we have this kind of geometric shape that flows through each of the cards. They are, however, each different, which is quite nice. We don't get necessarily a repeating pattern, but we definitely get a cohesive pattern. The thing that I do like about this particular suit is that the chakra cards do have the symbols on them, which I think is really lovely. But again, another really kind of pale, subtle, very calming, very soothing color palette. We have the 7 chakras with an additional energy, protection, and heart and mind affirmation cards. So that is the subtle body cards. In the mind and emotions, we have much more bright and varying backgrounds, but again, I think the color palette is still really lovely and soothing. And since these are the sort of suit of mind and emotion, I think that works really well. I do believe we should have 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, we have 9 cards in these, and you can tell that the symbol that's kind of holding the message in each of these cards is the same. But of course, as we saw here, it does vary by suit. So that's quite interesting. We have the circle for the body. We have the square for the subtle body or the energetic body. We have this diamond shape for the mind and emotion, and here in the spirit and soul. Beautiful backs. We have the lovely border on the top and bottom. And so again, we can see that they have a cohesive design. We have this sort of mandala type imagery, very faint in the background, and it's overlaid over these beautiful kind of light body type of imagery. This one has some lovely flowers behind it, what looks almost like kind of rain, stars. I do like that they have a definite definition between each of the cards, but they are very cohesive. And I think the little borders on the cards are quite lovely as well. So we also have 9 cards in the Spirit and Soul suit. So that's a look at all the 36 cards. You can see here that they do definitely follow a similar color palette. Again, very soothing, very soft. And I think they're just absolutely beautiful. They probably look even better shuffled together. So let's go ahead and do that before we move on to the journal. I didn't see if they were meant to be shuffled together. I think that you could definitely leave them in their suits and work with them based on what type of energy you were looking to tap into, whether you were looking to focus on, body or vibration or spirit or soul. I think that would be quite lovely as well. Or to mix them together as I'm doing here and just kind of pull one at random to see what you need to be tapping into in the moment. So let's go ahead and just do that. So here we have tending to the tasks of daily life. I love that one. That is very much, I think, an important part of just every day, just being mindful of those everyday tasks. So I think that's really beautiful. I could see myself pulling one of these cards to kind of start my day, to see where I need to tap into, what I need to tap into for that day. But also I could see myself just kind of pulling one of these maybe in the moment and seeing what I need to, what type of affirmation, what type of message do I need for this very moment. And you can see here when I mix them all together, now we've got a lovely little pale and subtle and soft color palette. And I think that It actually looks beautiful on the back too. So that's a look at all the cards. We also looked at the little pamphlet. So let's go ahead and take a look at this beautiful journal now. So Rockpool also sent me the Mindful Living Journal, Journaling Practices for a Sacred and Happy Life by Katie Rose. It is a lovely bound soft cover journal. Let's see what its size is, just because if you like to keep your journals in covers, that's always important to know. So we have like almost 6.5, actually if I go to the edge, so 6.5 by 8 3/4, so kind of a little bit larger than just say standard A5 journal size. So if we can look here, here's an A5 journal. So you can see it's a little bit larger than that, but still a great size to work in. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So here we have our beautiful title page, and I can see there are multiple bookmarks in here. So we'll pull those out when I get to them. So we have a lovely introduction by the author talking about how journaling has been a huge part of her life and how it's helped her. I love that we also have the integration of the symbols that we see on the cards as well. It's kind of just some basic introductory about kind of how to journal. You know, if you've never really journaled before, or if you're just kind of starting out on a spiritual journaling journey, I think a book like this would be fantastic because it's going to help you kind of cultivate and create that practice. Gives you a solid reference guide and kind of step-by-step process to really help you cultivate that as a practice itself. So she talks about how to use the journal. It says the journal loosely follows the journey from the foundations of who we are to spiritual aspirations of our higher selves. So there is a sequential element to it, and you can work through from the beginning to the end if you choose. That said, you might also wish to dip in and out of particular areas that call to you or seem pertinent at the time. Use your intuition and journal in the way that best supports your growth and joy. I love that because that is totally my approach to journaling as well. Take what works for you, use what resonates with you, and ditch the rest. So here we have a little I am grateful chart. Then we have a place for you to create a gratitude list here. So tying back into that chart, we have what am I grateful for in the realm of family, in the realm of work, in the realm of spiritual life, friendship. So a good place to really hone in to the certain aspects of your life and to really focus on those things that you are grateful for in those different categories. A lot of times when we make kind of gratitude lists, it's just kind of a mishmash of things. And I think it's rather nice to divide them up like this so we can really focus in on key areas of our lives. Some prompts about your community. And here we move into study foundations. So living a life of compassion and kindness is the highest spiritual ideal. So again, some more journaling prompts for you to follow. Compassion as a discipline, which I think is a lovely thought. We have sweet speech. So thinking about how you express yourself. Being accountable. Here's a good one for me. What could you add into your life to help you with your productivity? That's a fantastic one. Physical and body wellness. That's something that I need to be focusing on much more probably than productivity these days. So here we have make sacred space, space cleaning, decluttering and clear. I love that this really asks you to focus in on certain aspects of your life rather than just kind of journaling in a general sense. This really gives you very detailed and specific ideas to hone in on and to really dive into so that you can kind of focus on those key areas of your life. I really do quite enjoy that. So here we have our sacred outlook with this beautiful little title page for this section. So we have the mind as best friend. So nurturing touch. Here's the bookmarks, which are lovely. We have the pink and the purple. I love when they include multiple bookmarks because then I can, you know, kind of keep it on whatever section, wherever I'm at, and then also keep one on something that I need to remember to return to. So I think that's always fabulous. So we have the mind as worst enemy, cycles and women's health, a wellness strategy, environmental awareness. I think this is really interesting. Can you declutter your products and make your own with natural ingredients or buy some eco alternatives? I love that. So here we have Mother Nature, meal planning. What ancestral foods from your family or childhood do you remember with joy and delight? Love that. So here's habit forming. Look at the flow of your day. When do you do your spiritual practices? Ancestral treasures, ways to serve others. Self-care that doesn't cost the earth. Love that. What can you do with what is already in abundance for us? I think that's fantastic. Those were my words, not ours. Intention and manifestation. Just moving into this section. Big dreams and small dreams. So how would you like to transform your thinking? When do you speak to your higher self? Really great prompts here. Actions. What activities light you up and leave you feeling full? Beautiful. So we have ritual, let go and let God. I'm not fond of that word just because it has a lot of connotation and history for me, but I love the idea of letting go and trusting the divine. So here she actually says, where can you let go and trust the divine consciousness has your back? Like that much better. But again, that's just my personal issues. So ultimate manifestations, what are the highest dreams you're aspiring to in your life? Are they really what you want? I love that. Some of the things we think we want aren't really what we need. What are your trusted practices? That would definitely be tarot for me, and journaling. So here's the section on discover your life path. So what are the biggest gifts you have to offer the world at this time? What are your blocks? What's holding you back? What do you love to learn about? I love that one. So here's our personal growth section. Interject some creativity into every day. I strive for that on a daily basis. So here's be humble. Fear can be our greatest teacher. How can you improve your communication with your loved one? Prayer, what are your deepest prayers and wishes? Now we move into the subtle energy. So how do you protect your energy and vitality in difficult situations? So now we move into the fire element. Interesting. So how do you keep your spiritual fire burning? How do you express passion and fire through your sexuality? We have anger and impatience. So here we have earth and water elements. What would benefit from some grounding energy? We have nature and earth. Stubborn persistence and loyalty. So we move into the air element with creativity and multitasking. The unbound spirit and being overwhelmed. In community. Then we have a section on spiritual activism. So radical self-care. Tune into the energy around your heart space. What words or images describe the vibration of your heart center right now? Really like these prompts. Plant-based diet. Children and parenting. Trusting the foundation of honesty. So it could be not just children in your life, but your own inner child. That's lovely. Where are the small places you can step up for the environment? What are the values of this world? What are the priorities? And then we end with this little blessing here at the end. So this is a really stunning guided journal. I really love the prompts in it. I think they are very thoughtful. They're very mindful, as we see here. And I think this would be a really great journal to help you to kind of slow down and to focus on some of those key aspects of your life. The journal and the deck itself was sent to me for review by Rockpool, so I definitely want to thank them for that. But this is definitely a combination that I do intend to incorporate into my practice. You know, I'm very much a kind of free flow journaler just in general. I journal a lot about a lot of different things, but sometimes I really like having a guided journal to kind of help me hone in my practice. Sometimes when you kind of free journal, you can have a tendency to kind of just, you know, woo around from this, that to the other. And I love when I can kind of also pull in the structure of a guided journal. And I've actually been looking for a guided journal to bring into my practice. So this really kind of arrived at just the right time in my life. I don't always know what I'm going to be sent from the lovely people at Rockpool. They do surprise me sometimes, and I feel like this one just really came into my life at just the perfect time because I have been looking for a guided journal to tap into. I love that this one focuses on mindfulness. It's really about getting clear with who you are and what you want and what you stand for, and that is definitely something that I want to dive deeper into in my own personal practice. So I really do feel like these cards, and in particular this journal, are really going to be helpful as I kind of dive deeper into that throughout this year. So that was a look at the Mindful Living Inspiration Cards and the Mindful Living Guided Journal, both by Katie Rose and available from Rockpool Publishing. I think that these are really a very heartfelt and thoughtfully curated collection of prompts and guides to really help you kind of connect to your own self and to your own path and your own way of being in the world. So it's a beautiful collection that I am definitely looking forward to working with more in depth. Thank you for joining me today. You'll find links for everything featured here in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for more creative tarot for an inspired life.